I want to create some promotional items to help promote my guitars, something with the Hayley Guitars logo and website on there, and also something useful that people will keep around. I've got a ton of scraps of leather and a laser engraver. Let's see if we can combine the two and make some cool Hayley Guitars leather keychains. I'm Jeff, you're watching Home Built Workshop. Let's fire the lasers. What's going on, everyone? Welcome to this episode of Home Built Workshop. I hope all of you are doing awesome. Before we can fire up the lasers and turn these leather scraps into keychains, we need to have a file that we can send to the laser. Contrary to what you might read online at times, you can't just throw a scrap of leather in the machine and out comes a finished product. Kind of like a CNC machine. It just doesn't work that way. We need to have a file that we can send over, very much like if you were printing off, I don't know, any sort of document from your computer. You've got to have that document first before you can send it to the printer. This is exactly the same way. So first, we need to create a file so the laser knows where to cut and where to engrave. To create that file, I'm just going to spend some time in Lightburn. Lightburn is the software that I use to control the laser. This is not sponsored or anything, but it works really well. It's got a ton of features, probably even more than I'll ever use. I'm just going to spend a little bit of time here and see what we can come up with. There's a bunch of different creation tools in here that we should be able to come up with something pretty cool. This isn't intended to be a tutorial for Lightburn. I'm just showing you what software I'm using. There's a ton of tutorials online if you're interested in learning how to use Lightburn a little more in depth. So here's what we're going to start off with. I've already got these ganged for cutting multiples at once, but really just kind of a standard sort of teardrop shape that you see on a lot of different keychains. We've got some holes in there. Those will get cut out where we can assemble these with rivets. We'll have the logo and the website engraved in there. I think it's going to work out awesome. One thing that's going to be a little bit tricky, but really not a big deal, is the fact that all of these scraps that I have weird random edges on there. I've got sort of a square on here that helps me align everything, and really I need a square corner on the piece to help me get everything straight. I also use that square when I'm building my files, and that helps me position everything on the laser. So before I start burning anything, I want to go through and at least get one square edge on each piece. This one's already got a square we can at least start with. The rest of these I'll trim up kind of as we go. The laser engraver that I'm going to be using is this Xtool D1 Pro. This is the 20-watt version. I'm not positive that they still make this, but I've had this for several years and it's worked great. It's been able to do everything that I've needed a laser engraver to do. Now we can load our scraps of leather in there, line that up along the fence. Now, one thing that I know I'm going to need to do is change how many of these I have cutting at once. This piece that I'm loading in here right now, I think is probably only going to get 3, maybe 2 across, whereas some of these larger pieces we're going to be able to get 4, 5, 6 across. I'm going to change that as we go to try to maximize how many we can get out of one cut. This piece has a little bit of a warp to it, so I'm just going to utilize a little bit of duct tape, kind of hold this in place. I don't want it to move around as we're cutting. That's another thing I'm going to have to deal with since I'm using a whole bunch of random scraps. I think that'll work. We'll bring our laser head over there. We use this little kickstand to set our focus height. And now we're ready. Whoops, looks like that one cut off the edge. That's fine, we'll still get 2 out of this piece. You might also notice that I'm cutting these out in 2 passes. I found that I get a cleaner result by using 2 passes at a lower power rather than just blasting through with one full power pass. And now I can load the next piece in, and just like the first piece, I'm going to kind of hold it as flat as possible using a few pieces of tape. If I'd have stored these scraps a little more carefully, I probably could have avoided having to work around these bends. And we are ready to fire the lasers. It's burning my eyes. I'm gonna have to open the door. I had a little mistake here. Instead of setting the cutting speed at 10, I set it at 1 accidentally. The very first one was going really slow, so thankfully I caught that and got it stopped before it kept going. But let's take a quick look at what we have, and then I gotta get some fresh air for a second. So this is the one that I had set way too slow. It's all half burned. That one's no good. The rest of these, though, look fine. Look at that. Nice and clean. Already cut out. That's exactly what I want. If you don't get the speed just right, sometimes it doesn't cut out fully. These are perfect. Now I'll square up the other side of this piece of leather, and I'll load it back into the machine so that I can just keep cutting. I'm just going to continue repeating this process until I've used up all of my scraps and we got a bunch of these things cut out. We'll be back when I have everything cut. I'm going to get a little bit of air, but don't leave the laser unattended. I'm just going to step outside and watch through the door. That way I can breathe. Whew. Once I had a few of these cut out, I wanted to keep this process moving forward. When you're cutting anything with a laser, you're going to get what I call smoke staining, and that's where, as you're making the cut, the smoke from the cut stains the material. This happens on wood, and of course it happens here on this leather. Now if your piece is wood, you just sand this staining away, and that works really well. But since we can't very well sand it away on the leather, I'm just using an old sponge that I've lightly dampened with water. It's not sopping wet because I don't really want to saturate the leather. I just want to use the damp sponge to scrub away the staining from the top of the leather. It works really well, and since we didn't soak the leather, it dries really fast too, which is important because I want to keep this moving forward. So far I've got 25 or so of these done, and these are already been cleaned off. I still got quite a bit to cut, but I want to try to keep this process moving forward. Since these are scraps, it's not really new leather, it's been sitting around, it's a little bit dry, so it's going to be really important that we oil these up. So I want to start that process now. I'm going to use some 100% neat's foot oil and give these a coat on both the front as well as the back. This will do a good job of sort of rehydrating the leather, making sure that it's not quite so dry and crispy. Initially, I was planning to just put some neat's foot oil in a tub and then just dip these, but I recalled once upon a time I did that to a project, and even though it was just a quick submersion in the oil, I ended up over oiling them and the leather got real rubbery and really didn't work well at all. So even though it takes a little bit of time, I'm just going to do these one by one on both the front and the back. Any spots that seem a little bit too oiled, like right in here, that will even out as these sit. All right, so this is the last one oiled. I've got everything cut out. They're all oiled. I even had to run out and get another container of neat's foot oil because I didn't quite have enough. With everything oiled, we're now ready to get these riveted together and finish these things up. The key player in this assembly process is this arbor press that I have modified with a rivet setter. I think this particular set is from Weaver Leather, not sponsored or anything, but it makes setting rivets really easy. Now, for those of you that might be curious, this is just a cheap arbor press, something like you'd grab at Harbor Freight. I don't know where this one in particular came from, but it doesn't have really any sort of brand name. It's just a cheap half-ton arbor press. I've got the adapters in here, the rivet setters from Weaver Leather, not sponsored or anything, but this makes a really cool setup for setting double cap rivets, which is what we're going to use for this project. Now, do you need a setup like this to set rivets? Absolutely not. The little circular anvil with the little setter that you hit with a hammer works perfectly fine, and I've used it for several projects right here on the channel. But for this, where I've got to do 50 plus keychains, this is going to make it really quick and really simple. But remember, it's totally not necessary though. You can get perfect results with the manual setting tools. Let's assemble these. Walking through our process here, we're going to take our keychain, I'm going to put the rivet through the front, add our split ring, fold this over so that the rivet pokes through. We'll add the cap. And kind of the cool thing about double caps is they sort of snap into place. So really you could get all of these set up before you set them, and then that way you don't have to keep trying to line it up. You can kind of just get in that flow. But let's go ahead and set this guy. We've got a domed portion here and then a domed portion on the inside of this die. So we'll just put our rivet in there. Make sure these are lined up first. Trying to do this so I'm not blocking your view. Bam, there it is. Perfect. There's one. Now we've got like 49 more to do. That's the last one. And there's our first batch of handmade leather Hayley Guitars promotional keychains ready to be handed out at different events. Hope you enjoyed following along with this one as much as I enjoyed putting these together. I really like working with leather, whether it's a simple project like this or maybe something a little more complicated. This was definitely a fun one. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. This turned out really cool. Maybe I should put my keys on these. I think that'd be a good idea.